Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? I want to tell you a quick story on the theme of encouraging developments amongst like-minded people, not necessarily all of them Saitlanders, but people who are somewhat like-minded to us across South Africa. Some of you will have heard about the group of people, about 20 families or so, if I'm not mistaken, who spent the lockdown period uh, camped in, I suppose, something like a wood or a forest or a bush um, alongside a dam. Some of you will know that story. Some of you will know about the facility for 40 families. 40 families built by a Saitlander, not far from Van der Kloof, an act of Christian faith, such as I think few people can manage. Many of you will know about the ongoing development of the Grootwater, the 300 hectares of land, again not far from Van der Kloof. I can mention to you the Hubert family, who have invested money in land west of Van der Kloof, down the Orange River. What other examples are there? Oh yes, there's a family, two brothers and a father from Johannesburg, Saitlanders, who are investing in this region, in this district. And there was another good example. That's right. A couple of days ago, I spoke with a Seventh-day Adventist guy. And I mention that he's Seventh-day Adventist because it's relevant. The Seventh-day Adventists, some of you may know, have a considerable, or place a considerable amount of emphasis upon end times preparations, preparing for end times. That is one of the tenets of the Seventh-day Adventist confession, if you like, or Seventh-day Adventist persuasion, or Seventh-day Adventist church. And this guy's and his people, his, let's say, clan of Seventh-day Adventists, for want of a better word, are not Saitlanders, but I know them, and they're splendid people. And Mr. Miller gave me an instruction to speak to them about possibly occupying a portion of our sector line. Not really within our sectors, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, so I got hold of that chap, and we had a jolly good chat, as we always do. And he told me an interesting story. Sorry, just to be clear, this clan, for want of a better word, of Seventh-day Adventists has bought land in a remote region, which is kind of adjacent to Saitlander's National Emergency Plan's proposed line of ontvangssektora. Right. During the course of our conversation, he told me yet another story of committed, like-minded people who are engaging in projects to establish themselves safely in anticipation of a catastrophe in South Africa, whether it's precipitated by something externally, such as a global financial collapse, or the COVID-19, or whether it comes purely from within, doesn't matter. There are many people who at this point in time, and this is what I've been trying to get at, who are in the spirit of absolute conviction and faith, making meaningful, concrete efforts to create safe havens for themselves and their beloved. And while I was chatting to this guy, he told me about another group of people that I'd never heard about. He doesn't know them and he hasn't met them, but one of his neighbors, the neighboring farmers, heard about this group some kilometers away, and he went to visit them. And I won't go into any more detail than that, but it's just so tremendous to hear these stories. Not all of us can do it. Not all of us have the money. We know that. But again, I'll give you another example. During the COVID lockdown, Mr. Miller occupies, he doesn't own a farm, but he occupies a farmstead which would otherwise be unoccupied. And it's in the farmer's best interest to have it occupied, obviously. Therefore, he leases it to Mr. Miller and his family. And during the period of the lockdown, about another, I could be wrong, but I think all told something like 20 or 23 families came to Mr. Miller, went to that farmstead, went to that location and established themselves. And some of them are still there, and others have got places in the surrounding area, and one or two have taken places in nearby villages, and one or two have returned to Johannesburg and Pretoria where their businesses are based, etc. But they've left their preparations down here. And not all of those people have money. Many of us don't have money. Many of us can't do the extraordinary things that guys like Shane have done, or like Johan. Johan, I won't mention his surname, who bought 8,000 kilograms of mealie meal. Not for himself, but for his mede-volksgenote, for Suidlanders. Suidlanders in need, Suidlanders in distress. Should it have happened that things went skew with the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown. So many of us can't do that. But I'm positive that each of us in our small ways, those of us who don't have hundreds of millions, or tens of millions, or millions, or even hundreds of thousands, or who don't even have 10,000, we can all in our small ways pump the tires of our cars, collect some scrap wire. I found a whole lot of scrap wire, and it's not junk, it's just scrap, but it's not in rubbish condition. I collected it all up. I've now got more 16 gauge baling wire than, and I've kept it neat and tidy, and it's something that can be used. It's something I might otherwise have bought. And not to sound like junk collectors and armblankers and platsakke and, armblankers, but we can, all of us, save up 10 liters of fuel. All of us can do that. All of us can put clothes one side. One of the things that I'm most concerned about is warm clothes for the people for whom I am catering. That is to say, my sons and their moms. And I have an Edgar's account I've had for years. Excuse me. And I owed a little bit on it, not much. I paid it off, and then I kept paying. I built up a positive credit. And I was thinking of going to buy some warm jackets for my sons. And then I heard about somebody selling second-hand clothes, and I don't want to buy second-hand clothes, whatever. And a friend of mine, who's a pretty wealthy, he's a very wealthy guy actually, said to me, "Hey man, there's the second-hand clothing sale, come and have a look." And I thought to myself, geez, if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. So I reluctantly went and had a look at the second-hand clothing sale. And I bought 3 of the best jackets I've ever owned in my life. And I like a nice jacket. I like a good jacket. 3 of the best warm jackets. I think 2 of them qualify as coats because they're long and they've got a hood. I mean, Yeah, coats, man, coats. For the three of them cost me about, together, about a quarter or a fifth, about a fifth of the price of an equivalent good jacket, although I don't even know if you could really easily get them. The equivalent good jacket new. About a fifth of the price. A couple of $100. I know that it's difficult. Trust me, I know. But whether we're doing it on some enormous scale, like God bless them, the Hubert family, or Shane, or Johan, or the two brothers from Randburg, or whether we're just doing it on our own scale, according to what we can manage. Those of us who don't have big bucks. We can do something. We can stand together. We can take initiatives. We can prepare in unison. We can host 20 families at a farmstead. We can. So to those of you who are doing it, I say keep it up. To those of you who are not yet doing it, we say to you, get involved, get stuck in. It's possible, it's achievable. And you will never regret it. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for listening to this video, or watching this video, I should say. Please like the video if you liked it. Please share it if it's valuable and worth sharing with people. Other people who may profit from it. And subscribe to the channel, and we'll speak soon. Thank you, and God bless you.